Heyo everybody, Haku here with a video that's a little bit different from the normal stuff I do on the channel. I don't talk about games that often. But since we've been in such a months-long drought of Kingdom Hearts news or content, with Missing Link being very much missing, and Kingdom Hearts 4 expectedly not getting much more discussion or no new trailers or any sort of media hype, I wanted to give my predictions for the worlds I think we'll see in Kingdom Hearts 4, as well as the summons, and kind of ignore this list. It's a bit of a mess. I'll discuss my way through it. I just threw it together because I was like, maybe having something to look at would be nice for you all instead of just my face up here with me talking. I was like, maybe that would help. So I just threw it together in Tier Maker. So just, use that to supplement what I'm saying, but ignore that until I give my, actual justification for what I've said. But yeah, either way, I guess I just wanted to go into this predicting things, and there's some more stuff I want to say about Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 4 and more predictions and stuff like that, but I'll save it to the end so that we can get to the actual bulk of the video so you don't have to sit and wait through all of that. But yeah, let's just talk. So as far as world predictions go, I feel like there is not necessarily a set precedent with Kingdom Hearts, because the first game had things that you wouldn't necessarily expect them to have included, like maybe Nightmare Before Christmas. Then Kingdom Hearts 2 had things that were like really wild shots, like live action stuff like Tron and Pirates of the Caribbean. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 was where they finally brought in Pixar properties. So with Kingdom Hearts 4, there could be surprises, there could be things out of left field, but it seems like from all of the interviews I've seen since then where they're like, oh yeah, Disney worlds, Disney properties, that's a part of Kingdom Hearts, and Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be a mainline game. I think a mainline game isn't the place to go and be like, no, this is all just going to be Kingdom Hearts original content and ditch all the Disney stuff. I feel like that is something that is core to the series, and that's something that has been sort of held up when it comes to interviews and stuff. So I think we're still totally getting Disney worlds, and I think, if anything, they seem really happy with Kingdom Hearts 3 in the way that it was done, where they did less worlds, but the worlds were bigger, more fleshed out. They spent more time on each individual world. So I think if there's anything to look at, you should probably look at Kingdom Hearts 3's production, and they'll probably have some similar sort of philosophies when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 4. So in Kingdom Hearts 3, we had some properties that were involved in the game. I mean, Final Fantasy only through the, Limit Cut. But we had the Mickey shorts with the Game & Watch style games that were sort of included but didn't get their own world. Same with Ratatouille, getting sort of an inclusion in Kingdom Hearts without getting its own world. And that's what I have The World Ends With You and Inside Out here for. Because Inside Out 2, this is another thing we have to think about, is, again from previous games, we have to think that the worlds were probably decided around like 2020, not too long after Kingdom Hearts. Not too long after Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, they probably were already deciding on the worlds that would be involved. But also, we know from previous experience that they kind of know ahead of time what Disney is doing, some things that haven't been made public yet. And a lot of their decisions are probably going to tie in with things that Disney's going to be doing. Like, it would behoove them, say, previously, I'm not sure how close Kingdom Hearts 3 was to Frozen 2 or to, like, any live-action remakes or anything like that. But, like, to call back to that stuff when there's going to be a new product from that same series being put out, it would be a good thing for Kingdom Hearts. So I don't know how close Inside Out 2 and the release of Kingdom Hearts 4 will be. I'm not expecting Kingdom Hearts 4 until 2025, just because I think Square is gonna focus on Final Fantasy 16 this year, 7 Remake, the second part of that next year, and then maybe 2025 will be the focus on Kingdom Hearts 3. At least as far as release schedules go, not that they're not working on all three at the same time. But I think that Inside Out is kind of going to be the Ratatouille, if it's included here. I think it could just be something that's included via minigame sections or characters showing up as cameos or something, but isn't going to get a full world. And The World Ends With You, I think just because of like the references, like the building that Sora fought on top of and everything, I think references like that make me think, and also just in Dream Drop Distance, where like Sora and Riku met the characters and became friends with them and all, I feel like calling back to that by having them meet them again in Quadratum or something just makes sense to me. I think that they will be included here, similar to the way that Final Fantasy characters were included in like KH1 or 2, or even the way that they were included in Dream Drop Distance. I don't think they're going to play like a huge role or anything, but I think that we'll see some The World Ends With You characters just show up here. And then beyond that, there might even be another Disney series that gets included in like mini games or like a small way like Ratatouille was, or like I think Inside Out was. Like, I don't think we would ever really see a full Cars world. A full Cars world doesn't make sense to me, and I'm not a big Cars fan. This list, I have to say, isn't like, it's about predictions. It's not about how much I like the series or how much I want them in Kingdom Hearts, but more what I think will happen. I'm not a big Cars guy. I really wouldn't want it to be included. I don't think it would be included as a full world, but would it be included as a possible summon? I could kind of see that. Would it be like, how would that even work? Sora jumps into Lightning McQueen. Can you even go into the Cars in the Cars franchise and then just like drives around running into Heartless? That seems a little bit, I don't know, would Kingdom Hearts even do that? That's because it's like, what, vehicular manslaughter? You know, maybe not. I don't know, but I could see it being included in like a mini game type of inclusion, sort of like how Ratatouille was. But I'm going with The World Ends With You and Inside Out. And then looking at Kingdom Hearts 3, Kingdom Hearts 3 had one live action world, it had 2 Pixar worlds, and it had 4 Disney original worlds. So I'm kind of gonna go for that same 7. I just think that Kingdom Hearts 4 and Kingdom Hearts 3 are gonna have similar philosophies in their direction. And so Robot Foot, the Robot Foot in the trailer, it really seems like they were probably hinting at Star Wars. I don't necessarily want Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts. I just feel like it's one of those things where things like Star Wars or Marvel seem to kind of be their own thing. They don't really have that sort of Disney feel to me because they were acquired later. But I feel like doing like maybe a rehash of the first movie, I feel like there have been some weird choices before and Kingdom Hearts has made it work. So I think Star Wars could work, especially if they just do like episode 4, the first movie, and they just stick with that for now. And then if they want to come back to Star Wars later in future games, they can and flesh that out more. I think it can work. I think if they don't try to go too nuts with it, it can totally work. I think that, so Pirates was the one live action world in KH3, and I think that it could be Star Wars for KH4. That would be my prediction. Now, we got Pixar worlds, we got Monsters Inc. and Toy Story in KH3, and I think this time it's going to be Toy Story and Coco. Coco is Pixar, right? Oh god. Like, my lack of knowledge of some of the, like, more recent movies, because I haven't watched some of the more recent ones, is gonna really kill me. Not even that Coco was that recent. And I've seen Coco, I just don't really fully remember if it's Pixar, but pretty certain it is, that's why I put it here. I think they would just do Toy Story again. I think when I think of Pixar and when I think of Disney's relationship with Pixar, Toy Story is kind of their big marketing series. Plus, we've still had things coming out, like Toy Story 4 was a couple years ago. So I still think Toy Story is like just such a big name that they would bring Toy Story back and do it again. And we always have repeat worlds. We always have worlds coming back another time around. So I feel like Toy Story is the one they would do that with. Especially since there's so much more ground they can cover with that. I think Coco fits very perfectly. When I was trying to think of these predictions, I was thinking of movies, again, not that I liked, but ones that I just feel like fit the world design of KH3, and you could make a KH3 style world out of that world, and Coco's totally one of them. Also, one thing that goes for Coco, I will bring up when I'm justifying my Emperor's New Groove pick, because I feel like that is the most out there pick for some of you. That's probably going to be the most weird pick I have. It's one of the older ones. I'm saying Hercules because never bet against Olympus. I think Olympus has been in like every KH game except Dream Drop Distance, hasn't it? I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty certain it's been in like almost every one. Never bet against Olympus. We saw in the trailer Donald and Goofy going to see Hades. Never bet against Hercules. Never bet against Olympus. It's probably going to be back. One thing that was mentioned in interviews when KH3 was coming out was, oh yeah, there were some really big movies we wanted to do, but they kind of came out too late in sort of Kingdom Hearts 3's production cycle for us to include. And I think when they say that, they got to be talking about Moana. Moana's huge. Moana is like, I feel like the last Frozen-esque big hit coming out of Disney. So big that they're already, like creatively bankrupt enough to be wanting to give it the live action treatment already. Plus, if they want to promote the live action, they're gonna be like, yeah, throw some more Moana in your game. Get more eyes, more people talking about the series even more. I just feel like it fits perfectly in so many ways. It's just perfect for a Kingdom Hearts world. It makes all the sense in the world. Plus, it's really, really popular. Wreck-It Ralph, I think, is one of those that could follow in the sort of Land of Dragons or Pride Lands vein, where it's like a character showed up as a summon, and then we go to that character's world in the next game. I feel like that could be a Wreck-It Ralph world. Also, just, again, it's a world that makes sense. And here's the one that's probably going to need the most justification. When I think of Emperor's New Groove, I think they could make a world and designs that look really, really good in the KH3 style from that. I think the story of it fits really, really well for an adventure for Kingdom Hearts. I also think that while we did have a more focus on newer properties in Kingdom Hearts 3, there were still classic properties included. I mean, Toy Story's old, Monsters Inc. is old. What is it? Hercules is old, and again, Olympus was included again. So I think having an older, not really classic, but at least compared to sort of Moana or Frozen, a little bit of a more classic 2D Disney movie, I think Emperor's New Groove is a good choice. And one thing that I brought up with Coco that could be said of most of these that I think is important is, one thing it seemed like they really liked for Kingdom Hearts 3 was that they were able to give you not just Donald and Goofy, but 2 party members. So I think you got Buzz and Woody returning for Toy Story, or even if they want to throw Jessie in the mix. I don't remember if she was in KH3, but if they're moving into Toy Story 2 type stuff, they could be throwing somebody like Jessie in. Coco, again, you have the 2 main protagonists that are going on the journey. Wreck-It Ralph, you could easily have Ralph and Vanellope. Then, again, just slam dunk with, Moana and Maui from Moana. Very easy. And I think that, again, the adventure works really perfectly with Emperor's New Groove, having Cusco and Pacha. So I just think that that's my 7 worlds. That's my prediction here. I think we got the 4 Disney worlds with Moana, Wreck-It Ralph, Emperor's New Groove, and Hercules. The 2 Pixar worlds with Toy Story and Coco, and then the live-action world with Star Wars, plus some sort of inclusion probably for Inside Out and for The World Ends With You. That would be my world prediction. As for summons, so KH3 had 6 summons, but since then we've cut down on the number a bit. KH2 only had 4 that I remember. They had 2 returning sort of series character summons with Peter Pan kind of replacing Tinkerbell, and Genie, I think, returned again. So we had 2 returning, and then we had 2 new ones. We had Stitch, and we had Chicken Little. Chicken Little was a movie that had like just come out at the time of KH2. So I think that, and then Kingdom Hearts 3, we had a Kingdom Hearts original summon plus 4 Disney summons. The KH3 original summon being the Dream Eaters, and I think we could have something like that again for KH4. I think we could have another Dream Eater summon, or even, we don't know what the story is going to be like. If Sora's separated from everybody, we could have a Sora summoning his friends type summon, like he summons like one of the other Keyblade wielders for a limited time. I think something like that is possible for the 5th summon. And I think that what we could do here is just like the Simba and Ariel from KH3 being sort of series that were represented in KH1 and 2 but didn't get to be represented in KH3, and they hadn't been represented in the side games or anything done with them in a while, so they brought those 2 back and let us have Simba and Ariel as summons. I think that Mushu and Genie coming back could be in a similar vein, where KH3 didn't have any sort of Mulan stuff or any sort of Aladdin stuff, but they just did live action remakes in the past however many years for those two. And plus they're series that Disney really likes. So I think it's something, they were mainstays in early Kingdom Hearts. We haven't seen them in Kingdom Hearts for a while. I think Genie and Mushu could come back. I think that Baymax could be a summon, being one of those where it's like, we just went to the world last time. Kind of a Stitch sort of thing, where we've never got a mainline Lilo and Stitch world. I would love one. I would love one so much. I love Lilo and Stitch. I'm a huge Lilo and Stitch guy. But we had Stitch show up in Cage 2 and Cage 3, even though the world had only been in Birth by Sleep. I think that we could see Baymax having a world in Cage 3 and then returning as a summon for Cage 4. And then I believe the character's name is Meilin. I haven't actually seen Turning Red. When I was thinking of other characters, or a character from a newer movie that I think that, Disney and Pixar still like, and one that I could see fitting really well as a summon, but not really as a full world, I think the main character from Turning Red. Either she shows up in her human form, transforms into the giant red panda, and is a summon as the giant red panda, or if she shows up as the giant red panda, which could lead to, if there is a Turning Red world in the future, Sora shows up to the Turning Red world, sees her in her human form, and is like, hold on, I was not expecting this. And it could even play into the way the story is, with her being like, oh, I'm nervous, this is terrible, I'm turning into a red panda, whereas Sora's just like, don't worry about it. Giant talking animals is just a normal day for me. Aside from those, though, there were a few that, though I think those four are the top four for summons, like those four and maybe a Kingdom Hearts original summon, like the Dream Eater's coming back, or Sora summoning one of the other Keyblade wielders. I think that there are some that I wanted to just throw in as maybes, because it's like, I could kind of see them. So these are my hard predictions for my worlds and my summons. You've seen them. My maybes, like I could see it, Bambi and Dumbo, I don't see getting a full world, but if they wanted to harken back to like really early Disney, back to early Kingdom Hearts, and just give a shout out to KH1, I could see Bambi or Dumbo coming back as a summon, in the same way that I was like, Baymax is somebody from a world we had that could show up as a summon again, kind of like Stitch, even though we didn't have a Stitch world, or Peter Pan in KH2 showing up after being a character in KH1, and their own world. I think we could get Tron. Tron's possible. I think Peter Pan or Tinkerbell could return. I think that's possible. For other things, if I'm wrong about the Meilin guess, I think Judy Hopps would make sense as a summon. I just see it really well. I think that would make a lot of sense as a summon. And I don't think we would get a Zootopia world, at least not anytime soon. I mean, we might. I could be wrong. But I think that a Judy Hopps summon is more likely than a Zootopia world. Raya seems like one of those movies. Disney has these movies that sometimes they do well and sometimes they do poorly, but either way, there are movies Disney likes and doesn't like. Ones that they market the heck out of, and ones they try to make people forget about. I feel like Raya is one of those movies where Disney, after it came out, has just decided, okay, no more marketing for you. Kind of like there was no marketing at all for, what is it, Strange World? No marketing, period, for that. I feel like Raya was one of those things. It wasn't another Frozen for them. It wasn't another Moana for them. And they were just kind of like, okay, you can go into the closet now. We're going to hide you away. But if we do see Raya, or like inclusion, I think a Sisu, or as I always just said, Elsa Dragon, a Sisu inclusion, I think is possible as a summon. I think that the character just fits and looks and works really well as a summon. And if the worlds and inclusions were decided as far back as like 2020, 2021, then it would make sense. I was really going back and forth on whether I wanted to say Meilin for that like new original summon, or if I wanted to say Wally. Like, Wally is a tough one. I kind of didn't know if I wanted to say, oh yeah, that'll totally be a summon. Lightning McQueen from Cars is a maybe. Again, I'm not a Cars guy. And then Frozen is a weird one, because Kingdom Hearts 3 was limited in what they were allowed to do with the Frozen characters, but I feel like Frozen is not at the great heights it once was after Frozen 2. I just don't feel like it's like crazy marketed like it was before, so I feel like there might be more freedom to do stuff with characters. Marshmallow showing up as a summon, just like showing up as a party member, is a little bit of a weird inclusion, given that in the actual movie, I really don't even particularly remember them. If there was a summon from Frozen, you'd have to think Olaf makes sense. That's something that I kind of prioritized with my guests too. Summons are almost always like just sort of small non-human creatures, with I guess Peter Pan and Ralph being kind of the exceptions. They're usually like small creature type characters. So I feel like Olaf would be a maybe, depending on how much KH4 is allowed to do with Frozen characters. Plus Disney, like I said, while it's not at the height it once was, I kind of feel like it's still pretty high up there for Disney, and they do want to market it a lot. So it's marketable enough that Disney might be like, hey, yeah, throw Olaf in your game. So yeah, I'm not sure. So yeah, those are my predictions for the summons, my predictions for, possible summons, things in case my original predictions were wrong that I just wanted to discuss. I mean, there's other things up here, but I didn't really have a lot of thoughts on them. Series that, like, I'd be surprised at these series, but very happy with them. Like, if we saw a trailer and found out we were getting a Three Caballeros world, I would be extremely excited. Lady and the Tramp would be a weird one, but I'd be like, how are they going to do it? Robin Hood, I'd be super excited. I think Robin Hood would be a super cool Kingdom Hearts world. Winnie the Pooh again, I'd be like, heck yeah, go for it again. But after KH3, I'm not sure. Maybe it should be in a Hercules sort of similar position where I'm like, don't bet against the Pooh. The Rescuers I always loved, so I'd be really happy. Great Mouse Detective, things like that are more niche. I would be blown away. Oliver and Company I've always loved. Again, it's more niche. So again, including those would be nuts. I think Atlantis and Treasure Planet would make incredibly good Kingdom Hearts worlds, and I really like both of them. So I'd be over the moon if either got included, but they are both those types of movies that Disney tries to pretend don't exist. Lilo and Stitch, Disney still seems to like. I love Lilo and Stitch. It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite Disney movie. I would love a full, actual Hawaii-themed Lilo and Stitch world with Sora. I just don't really think we're getting it. I don't expect it, but I would really love it. I love The Princess and the Frog too. I really love that. So I'd be totally down for that world. But I just said this to my sister recently where I was like, I always say I love The Princess and the Frog, but I always hear people complain, yeah, but they're frogs almost the whole movie. And those people are kind of right, because when I say I love that movie, I'm never thinking about them as frogs in the swamp. I'm always thinking about, actual, Dr. Facilier and Nazim and Tiana and her friend and actual New Orleans. That's what I'm thinking about when I say I love that movie. So it's like, when I say that, I'm kind of just thinking about the first part of the movie. So if it was included, hopefully not so much swamp stuff, but more New Orleans stuff. But yeah, who knows? Monsters Inc. I love. If they just did a repeat, like I said, for Toy Story and brought Monsters Inc. back, I'd be super happy about it. I love Monsters Inc., one of my favorites. Same goes for The Incredibles, one of my favorites. But I have seen, I watched the regular Pat videos that were done kind of a while ago, and The Incredibles is kind of going over the same territory as Big Hero 6. I don't know. I feel like they're different enough, and I would love The Incredibles to be included. I just don't really expect it. Brave, again, I think would make for a really fun Kingdom Hearts world, but it's questionable to me whether Disney likes Brave or not. Mary Poppins, again, I think would be a really interesting one. I love Pirates, so just bring back Pirates again. I'd be fine with that. The rest, I'd be cool with these. I'd be cool with 101 Dalmatians, any of these here. If they brought back Lion King again, I'm a big Lion King fan. Be cool with it. Any of these, I'd be happy with. They'd be a surprise to me, but I don't necessarily want them. And not only do I not necessarily want them, I just don't see it happening. Tangled, again, would be great. Encanto was actually a really big movie for Disney, and it's more recent. But I wonder if it's too recent to be included in KH4. I wonder if Encanto to KH4 would be sort of like the Moana to KH3, where it was just bad timing. Do not want, but it's possible, is Marvel. I don't want Marvel. I really don't. Marvel's one of those things that went from being, oh, this cool, neat, movie series based on the comic book franchise, obviously, to now whenever I hear Marvel's insert thing here, my first reaction is always groan eye roll. I'm just always like, Marvel again. So yeah, and just Marvel in general with their sales and everything. Marvel's really fallen off. I feel like Marvel inclusion in KH4 would be like giving us the entire fuck you, Kingdom Hearts. The entire Let It Go sequence in KH3, where I'm just like, this was overdone 5 years ago by the time this game came out. So I really don't want Marvel. I don't even hate Marvel. I've grown tired of it, and I really don't want it in Kingdom Hearts. I think it could work if they just did. I think the best way to do it would just be to do the first Avengers movie, because then you have like a city to set it in, and not only do you have a city to set it in, but you get like the main players from the sort of Marvel Cinematic Universe involved. So I think that's the way to go, but I don't want it. Like, I think it could work, but I don't want it. And then all the rest are just things I just really doubt would happen. I think that from what we've seen so far, I don't think we're going to get Final Fantasy Worlds like people were thinking to begin with. A lot of these older movies are movies that Kingdom Hearts has already done, or movies that sort of like Home on the Range, ones, or Dinosaur, ones that Disney forgot about and wants us to forget about. Stuff like that I doubt's happening. So yeah, either way, that's the end of the prediction video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Went on a bit long, but I just wanted to talk about Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm really excited for it. Like I said, I think we'll probably have to wait until 2025. I don't know what they're doing with Missing Link, but hopefully Missing Link isn't awful. I'm not a fan of mobile games. I'm really not. I just feel like, and I feel like putting important story content in mobile games like Kingdom Hearts has been doing, when the vast majority of the audience is not going to even be playing the mobile games, is sad. It's not good. It's not as bad as Assassin's Creed putting important story content in comics that literally no one was going to read. But it's still very not good. The majority of your fan base is not consuming this media, and you're putting important story content there. That's not a good deal. I'd really love more side games, like in the Days and Birth by Sleep. In the vein of those games, Dream Drop Distance, I love those side games. I really, really love them. So I want some of that. Plus, I think we need some of it for some of the characters. We might not get any of those until after KH4 starts off the saga. That's possible. But I think Kairi desperately needs her own adventure. Not something that she prepared for, or this or that, just something that she has to do. She has to stand up on her own. And I was kind of hoping Melody of Memory would be that, and I love Melody of Memory, but it is not that. Kairi desperately needs it. I'd also love to see a game focused on Lee and Isa and their sort of goals here. Yeah. Those are all things that I think about. Getting us another Aqua game with going through the like Realm of Darkness, this time with Ven and Terra, would kind of be okay. I'm going to not lie to you. I like Ven and Terra, but not that much. Aqua's like my favorite character in the franchise, though. So more Aqua, yes please. I don't care as much about Ven and Terra, sadly. I like them. I do. I would just be much more excited for another Aqua entry into the franchise. So yeah, side games I'd love. But either way, I'm going to end this video. Thanks for sticking through my rambling about this series that I really, really, really love. I guess this is something I mentioned at the beginning that I'd just wait until the end. Kingdom Hearts, I feel like, going into elementary school, I had watched people play games before and had like adults helping me play games, but like going into elementary school, the PS2 I think was my first console that I ever like personally had, and it was mine. And Kingdom Hearts 2 was the first game I got for that console. I got a PS2 and Kingdom Hearts, and like that was like my first console game experience. And not only that, but Kingdom Hearts is one of the only franchises that still I get excited for, still I love after all these years. A lot of other franchises I loved, but they're not making games anymore. Or I love but they fell off hard. Or I'm not expecting, like, as much as I loved Fallout, as much as I loved the Elder Scrolls, do I expect anything good from Bethesda again? Not really. As much as I loved Assassin's Creed in the past, do I expect anything from Ubisoft? Kinda definitely not at this point. But, you know, Kingdom Hearts is still a franchise that, while of course I like some of the games more than others, it's never really disappointed me. So it's a series that I still really hold dear more than almost any other. Probably Kingdom Hearts and Pokemon. Those are probably the two big top two. I know you can probably see the Pokemon shelf back there, but I've got two Kingdom Hearts shelves on the back shelves over there as well. Either way, that's it. Thank you so much. Like if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what your predictions are, what your thoughts are on my predictions. We can definitely talk in the comments. I would love to. I'd love to talk to you all on Discord if you want. The server's free and open for anyone. Ask and I can give you a link to it. Or on Twitter if you wanted to follow there. And I am definitely still calling it Twitter. I'm not calling it fucking X. Thinking about Kingdom Hearts. Okay, Xehanort. I'm not calling it X. Then if you'd like to help support the channel to help me keep making videos, or if you want to see more Kingdom Hearts stuff, discussions, predictions, rankings, let me know. I'd love to talk about the series more. But if you'd like to help keep me making videos, a super thanks would be greatly appreciated. Or if you want One Piece a bit early, if you want a shout out at the end of every single video, you can become a patron or channel member. Thank you, huge thank you to people who are already patrons or channel members. Thank you so much. My webcam's off from changing scenes. Thank you to Joseph Regular, Evan Holly. Thank you to Magical Girls, FR Nono, Huarian, and Smeller Dog. Thank you to Cherryton student David Langstaff, leaning into frame. Thank you to Slayer candidate SG, and thank you to Pure Element Pate Ardealo. Thank you all so much for your support, and thank you all so much for watching. Thank you again, and I'll see you all next time.